negatory on the cost of that machine there. I bought it pre-pandemic. It was cheaper that way. But I got the bed up on the horses here. I'll show you what I got in store. Full disclaimer, I actually do not have any attachment to this truck. It is a pile of junk. So I figured this would be a good practice piece, so to speak. You got these little filler panels. We got some buckets, some Caddy taillights. Let's start hacking, shall we? We have this welded in, this with a hole in the bottom. So if this just happens to drop in, and then this, take a look, see here. So it goes in like so. Try going ass first here. That baby up. Oh. 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 Come on. Got you down in there. Oh, there we go. Nice tight fit. We're gonna need to probably weld a nut or something there to hold that there, but this drops in nice. That does look pretty spectacular. As I mentioned before, I am not an expert in this at all. If you're watching this to how to get it done professionally, just bring it to a body shop. Well, we're running into problems right off the bat. Some of this is definitely gonna have to be cut out. This is obviously where your cables connect. Right in the way. There's one up top, but it's kind of tucked in. What we got here? Oh, we got a wire. Cool. We should probably take the needle scaler and get this all cleaned up. Look at this awesome overspray from the previous owner. How can I improve on that? This is the part we're going to cut off, so we're actually going to cut right there to this side of the line so that we can just use a grinder to kind of sneak over to make sure it's a nice tight fit, because you want that fitment to be right there when you weld, because if you got a gap, it can be welded, but you're like more likely to blow through. What we have to do here is figure out, I want these as low as possible, so I'm thinking about like that, which actually puts us pretty close to the top there. It should be about good, all right? As I said, if I screwed up, this is a throwaway truck anyway, so what better way to cut your teeth on a pile of jello like this? There we go. Ready? Ain't no going back now. Play around with how deep we're going here. Want to go somewhere around here. Start trimming until where I'm happy in this position, and then start trimming until I'm happy with this position here. And then once I got this and this figured out, then I'm gonna start sneaking about what I need here and then here. I've reached the maximum depth on this. The taillight housing, it's not all the way in. Still got ways to go on the top. Get to cutting on that. My trusty disc grinder might be able to get in a little bit, but not too much. Might be Sawzall time. That's good, but this needs to... So we got some more trim, and this little part sticking up here. It's not allowing the bucket to go back far enough, but I think that where I have it cut, this here is pretty dang level. I'm afraid of where this corner is. It's gonna look funky. So right where my finger is where the corner of that is. Yeah, I kind of screwed the radius there, but it's nice and tight under there. I'm gonna have to massage this a little bit. So that side's done. I'm not gonna bore you with this side because it's gonna be the same thing. I'm just gonna go real slow and try to make them as even as possible. Okay, so one of the things I'm doing, if I level this out there, I can get about where that is. Take that guy, transfer it over. So we can get about the height, what we need here, this here. See that? Then I can just go right there. So this should get it relatively close. And obviously I'm still cutting inside of where it actually needs to be, so I can sneak up on it and hopefully get a tighter fit than this. Got a little crazy with the grinder there, but so I got it positioned where they're both the same. And what I did is I just shot it with some primer. You kind of see where it is. Now what I'm going to be doing is cutting, so this is the exposed part. I'm going to be cutting 1/4 to a 1/2 inch up so I can always trim that back, sneak it. This is obviously like this. So that's the bottom. That's the top. This is where the filler panel was. It should give me a pretty good idea of where that needs to go. So let's get to cutting. Oh, just like that. Yeah, that's a spare steel, so we can. Oh, let's check out the same radius. Nope. Why would it be? Still got some fab to go, but roughly in. All right. Forging on. Got ourselves a 16 gauger, and we're just gonna do that. We're gonna radius this. If you smell what I'm stepping in, picking up what I'm putting down. That'll give us an extra 3 inches. Every man's dream. Am I right? Eh? This on here, roll it and try to keep that profile. This is probably not going to go well. Just letting everybody know. Yeah, buddy. These are called scrolling tongs. It's a blacksmith thing. And we are going to use them to definitely do some scrolling. Kind of. Came around the corner real nice. The handle horn. Now I'm looking right here. Bingo. Our next obstacle is a little funky bend right there. That is easy if you have the correct tools. Blacksmith bench vise. Putting this seam right in the middle here. I took that corner piece that comes off of your filler plate. It does have a slight curve. I actually had to massage it to fit this profile a little bit. So I got this magnet sitting here, so this is flush this way. But right now I got this sitting pretty good. And then probably gonna plug this up with some weld, just so there's not any water getting in there. This, I just need to clean it up just a little bit and it should sit in there pretty good. It doesn't want to butt up. Instead of this and that butting up, it kind of wants to overlap here and it sits nice. So I'm just gonna let it do that because I'm not gonna fight it. just got to put that patch panel in there. Well, a little bit of the seam, grind away what I don't need. Well, a little bit more of that seam, grind away what I don't need. It's gonna be a long, drawn out process. It is 10:18 at night. You know, I don't want to make my neighbors upset. We're gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna turn on some tunes. I'm gonna clean up the mess, put all my tools away. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my Saturday night. Thanks for hanging out with me. Looking good. Keep on mini trucking.